the Dragon Lords. This is a religion I created for me, but you could also believe it too if you want. Okay. So, first question, who are the Dragon Lords? Right? Second question, I'm sure, is why? There's so many religions in the world, why not just pick one of them? Third question will actually be your questions to me. Facts and questions. I'll answer any questions you have. So please, if you have any questions, hold them until the end. Okay. I want to make sure that we're on schedule with this. I created this religion, so careful what you say there, Canton. Okay. Careful what you say. All right, you're on thin ice. Okay, who are the Dragon Lords? There are 7 of them. Yuma, Arabusa, Zeus, Ardi, Vesi, Tichi, and Fuko. All right, I might be saying some of these names wrong, and you're like, what do you mean? You name them. You can't say them wrong. I can. And we'll get into that later. So, the first Dragon Lord, Yuma, the Dragon Lord of the Light. Classic European dragon, 4 legs, 2 wings, big. He's like an off-white, very shiny, very glistening, European. Listen, okay, there's a lot of different types of dragons, and this is like a classic European dragon design, okay? Now, would also like to, Yuma favorite streamer? Okay, Gadjin, you're back on the good list. I should have expected a dragon lecture on Today of All Days. Yeah. I would also like to say, all of these dragons, the pictures I found, are not 100% accurate representations of what they actually look like. Okay, I just tried to find something as close as possible. I made this PowerPoint in like 40 minutes for y'all. Okay, or less, I don't know. But it's just to give you like a gist, okay? He's a European dragon. Since he's the Dragon Lord of the Light, he deals with creation and life and power and strength, okay? If you're going to war, you're worshiping the dragon. You're sending out your thoughts and prayers to Yuma. Okay. He is all about feeling like he is the best because he thinks he's the best. And he's the most commonly worshipped Dragon Lord. People get sick, they worship him. They want to do well in life. They're like, hey, so he's Trump? No, not quite that bad. He is kind of an asshole with a big ego. Okay. The Dragon Lords, they're kind of based off of Greek gods in that they're not perfect beings. They're not meant to be perfect beings. They just are what they are. And these are kind of like the realms that they, look after. But it is easy to get on his good side if you gas him enough because he's, huge ego. And Yuma is actually the sunniest place on Earth, which is where I got the name for him, which is Yuma. You mean the Greek gods are based off them? True, yes, part-time. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. So that's Yuma. He's kind of a dick. There's a lot of lore with him, especially with the next Dragon Lord that we're about to see. He and her had a child together, and they created Skiths, which are kind of like a dragon, but they're a little bit smaller, a lot more agile. They have really, really long tails, like really long, and they have fur on them. And Skiths are a dragon's like number one like competitor, and they can like fuck a dragon up. Because you know what? There's not a lot of things in life that can fuck a dragon up besides other dragons. But why you guys? No, not Schizo. Oh, fuck, now I'm gonna have to change the name. Is someone making you do this? It might be my undiagnosed autism making me do this after Wingding told me that it's National Dragon Appreciation Day. I am okay, though. I'm great. I'm doing great. I showered today, guys. Okay, I'm doing great. So this is Yuma. And you know what? I love all the Dragon Lords. Even I can recognize that some of them are kind of assholes, but you know what? They're just beings that are themselves, and they represent the unperfect ways of humanity in the world, and they just do what they do. Okay. She did say dragons are her favorite animal. I did. Thank you so much for listening. Luna. LK's brain must express dragon lore. We just have to live through the telling. You'll all live through the telling. Next we'll move on to Arabusa. Arabusa, personally, my favorite dragon lord. Okay, I love her, and she's a queen. She's the dragon lord of the darkness, so like the other side of the coin to Yuma. She's a wyvern. So, for those who don't know, a wyvern is kind of just like this, except these two front legs are attached to their wings here. Okay, so that's what a wyvern is. A lot of people online will say, that's not a dragon, that's a wyvern. And to those people, I say, like, especially when looking at Smog or Game of Thrones dragons, to those people, I will say, you are a fucking idiot dumbass, because wyverns are just a type of dragon, okay? And for you to say that that's not a dragon, that's a wyvern, that's like saying that's not a dog, that's a Rottweiler, okay? A Rottweiler is a fucking dog, okay? Anyways. She's the least commonly worshipped just because people are like, oh, you know, like death, blah, blah, blah. But she does deal with death, but, you know, she deals with death, the passing on. She deals with, like, peace, you know, kind of like finding, like, that balance within yourself and hope. But even though she's the least commonly worshipped dragon lord, she has actually given lots of new life to other people and has, like, been the result, you know, meaning of, or the result, her action, I don't know words anymore. She has been the reason for new life coming into existence. For example, and this will get talked more about later, but in my little stories that I think up in my, she's a MILF. Okay, can let that through, I guess. Wait, ma'am, they're all made up. It don't matter either way. Okay, you are on thin ice, Slimy. All right, you're on, so Cougar, okay, we have two people, calling the dragon a MILF. Anyways, why would dragons care about people? Oh my god, Moogles, I'm so glad you asked. Please, please, please remember to re-ask that in facts and questions, because if I get off topic here, I will be sitting here rambling to you all for about 3 hours about unrelated, about vaguely related things in my head, okay? So I really have to keep it on track. But that is a good question, and please save it for the end. So for example, what her powers, in my story, you know, like sirens exist? Like sirens are like evil mermaids, right? In some depictions, mermaids are just like sirens, but others, like sirens are like the evil versions of mermaids. Sirens came into existence because of Arabusa. There was this mermaid, bad shit happened to her. A different dragon lord felt bad. So it brought it to Arabusa and was like, hey, yo, dog, I think this mermaid deserves a second chance on life. And so Arabusa's power is not without some kind of sacrifice. And so sirens were created. And the biggest difference between sirens and mermaids in my story and lore is that sirens need to consume humanoid blood at least once a moon cycle, or else they fucking die, okay? The plus side of that, though, is they're way, way stronger than a regular mermaid, and they were given the tools to be able to do that. It's just something that they gotta live with. T-Rex is a wyvern. No, my eye's twitching. No, that's wrong. So, yeah, she's very reserved and distant, hard to seek out. After having the child with Yuma especially, she kind of like went solo because Yuma didn't like how strong their child was growing up to be, and he tried to kill the child. And she got in the way of that, saving the kid, but like really hurting herself. A lot of dragon lords for a long time thought that she actually died in that encounter, but she did make it out alive. And she's named after the Greek god Erebus, who I think is like a god of the darkness in Greek mythology. And I just slapped an A onto the end of her name. And these used to... boots. These used to all have different names, because I gave them all a name when I was really young. I really forget the meaning of all their names, and some of their names were just like not it. So I did a rehaul of all of their names recently in like the last couple of years. But Arabusa is the only one who, one, I was able to find the original meaning of the name to, and two, kept her name. So Arabusa is a very good name. I really like it. So she got to keep her name. Okay, moving on. Zeus. And this is where we get into the realm of I may be mispronouncing the names, because these are just other words in other languages. So there is a right way to say this name. Like Zeus means skies in Portuguese. There's a good chance I'm pronouncing that wrong, but that's if you know how to pronounce it right, that's how you pronounce it. This is the Dragon Lord of the Skies. He's an amphitheater. He's very childlike. He's very carefree. You know, there's three kind of like nature dragon lords. They all kind of like work together. Especially he looks up to and works really closely with Vessi. Their powers together can amphitheater. Their powers together can control a lot of the weather that we encounter. So whenever it's like a bad weather day or whatever, I'm reaching out to Zeus and I'm like, hey man, like I really want to go paddleboarding today. Please, let's keep the winds under like 15 kilometers an hour. That would be absolutely awesome. Did you make this whole slideshow at work today? I don't have work today. I didn't work today. So I made it after I finished chores. Is this a sex thing? No. And that does piss me off, Crusto. So I'm going to need you to refrain from... disrespecting the Dragon Lords like that again. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's Zeus. And again, these pictures I found online, not exactly representative of the Dragon Lords, but they give like a good like gist of like their vibe. Amphitheaters, in case you didn't notice, they have big wings, but they have no legs. All wing, no leg, and tail, and head. You know, blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's Zeus. Apparently you say it like Q's? Really? Okay. Q's. I like that. I like that better than Zeus. Broke boy can't afford legs. Don't let him hear that because he probably will cry and you'll piss off other Dragon Lords. Okay, next we're moving on to, and again, this one, don't know if I'm saying it right. There is a correct way to say it. Ardi. Okay, Ardi is the Dragon Lord of the Earth. He's a drake, so that's 4 legs, no wings. Okay, he's got no wings. He cannot fly. He is one of the only 2 Dragon Lords that cannot fly. This is not a dinosaur. He's very grumpy, selfish. He, you know, really possessive, or really values possessive materials. He's the classic. He's got a hoard of treasure somewhere that he just guards with his life. And if anybody tries taking anything from him, he's going to bitch out at you. Okay? However, he is very loyal to Vessi and Arabusa. Vessi, we haven't gotten to yet. Vessi also, like we said, Q's is loyal to Vessi. She's the next one in the list, so don't get too discouraged there. And his name means ground in Swahili. And I'm sure you're all like, how did you figure out these names, Levitating Kitty? It's called knowing a theme for what you're going for, and writing the word in Google Translate and picking a new language until you find a word in one of the languages and you're like, that's a good name. I like that name. I just came. Is this TTRPG things? This is my religion. The Dragon Lords, the 7 Dragon Lords. This is personally, and I'm not even joking, chat. And I'll explain it more at the end. But like, I do close my eyes and I'm like, Dragon Lords, I really need your help today. Like, can you like throw me a bone? I do that. So yeah, if you're like needing to like, I don't know, you're worried about like a job, or you lost something that was really important to you, or you're having money troubles, it's probably Artie that you want to kind of reach out to. And, if you're worried about any earthquakes, you could ask for his blessing and protection if that's, expected, but I don't get none of that up here, so. Okay, now we have Vessi. Oh, my queen. I love her so much. Vessi is probably my second favorite Dragon Lord. I had a very hard time with giving up her old name, which was Rena. I'm pretty sure I just swapped some of the letters around in Rain when I named her, because rain and water. Which one is Jesus? None of them. And again, please hold your question till the end. Thank you so much. But yeah, I love her because she's the Dragon Lord of the water. She's a Leviathan. So Leviathan can't fly. They don't have wings. They don't even have legs. But she can breathe, like both air and like underwater. Kind of like dolphin style, but also if dolphins had gills. She's also the oldest lord. Wouldn't she be a lady? Dragon Lord, they're not really concerned with like the genderedness of the word lord. Can't. That like amongst them, that's like, it's hard to describe. Is this Dragon Lore? Yeah, this is my religion in Halo. Anyways, we'll go. Well, you can call her Lady Vessi if you want, but they're all Dragon Lords. She's the oldest Dragon Lord. She helped protect the others as they grew older. I'll get a little bit into that later. Exactly, the origins. But essentially because of that, all of them like really, really, really respect her opinion. So she really ever speaks, but when she does, it is taken very seriously. But despite being quiet, she does really enjoy the company of others and does not like being alone. So even if she's not necessarily with another Dragon Lord, you will see like schools of fish or whales or like other sea creatures. She just has like a very like calm and like loyal, like respect for like all the creatures within her realm. And so she's the one that brought the mermaid to Arabusa and was like, hey dog, please help. She's been through it, and I think she wants a second chance, and I think we should give it to her. So, and Vessi means water in Finnish. Favorite dragon? Arabusa, our queen. My queen. Shout out. We already talked about her, so. And now we have Tichi and Fuko. And again, I might be saying one or both of those words wrong. If you do know how to say it right, let me know. These are the Dragon Lords of Luck and Misfortune, and they're a winged hydra. Now, these guys are a little bit of a special situation. They used to be two separate regular dragons, and then they fell in love, and they were in love for a while, and then they saw the shit that happened between Arabusa and Yuma, and how, like, at one point those two were in love, they had a child together, and then Yuma was crashing out. Arabusa was crashing out back, and they almost killed each other. So they didn't want to ever be separated, and they wanted to be together forever. So they like basically formed into one. Okay. And they're kind of like a perfect pair, right? Because I actually have a dragon sculpture that my friends gave me that really inspired their story. And it's a black and white dragon that are like surrounding this mountain and kind of like almost like intertwining with each other. And so really they're not green. They're like a like silver and gold color. And you can kind of like see like their scales like intertwining and like speckled throughout each other, and as they kind of like their bodies formed over the time. And they're the youngest Dragon Lords and the only ones to be granted the Dragon Lord title rather than being born with it. Because, you know, misfortune and fortune at the time and for the reason that the Dragon Lords were originally created wasn't really needed as a realm. But they kind of, because of their love and because of their personalities, that is what they became. So Tichi means fortune in Greek, and Fuko means misfortune in Japanese. And when people, they are worshipped only when people are in such dire and like desperate situations, right? And it's usually Tichi. But sometimes it's Fuko because people are trying to like wishing misfortune on others as well. But you can't really worship one without the other. And so nobody really wants to like go out of their way and worship or like ask for their blessings or help if they have to, because they might be, you know, it might be the other dragon that answers that call. So it's really, I like to say they play a very big role in my life because I have incredibly horrible ass RNG, okay? I will never win any game if I have to roll a dice to win. That's not true, but I rarely do. But when it comes to like big important life matters, Tichi usually gets my back. But Fuko, he's a fucker and he likes fucking around. So now we move on. You know who the 7 Dragon Lords are and all of their names. So I'm sure you're all asking, why'd she do this? Why? And the reason, in my head, I have years worth of story and lore that I've thought up and made up for different characters ever since I was a child. Literally, I've been like tinkering, adding to the story, changing, you know, thinking of new events and blah, 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 ever since I was a child. And I have lots of different characters. Many different characters. Is this a Scaly stream now? Maybe, Ash. All of the different characters, their stories do interconnect somehow. And because I love dragons, I obviously made them one of the main religions in, like, the world that all of this takes place in. And then eventually I was like, fuck it. You know, these Dragon Lords, I love them. I'm just going to worship them in real life too. Because then nobody can tell me, oh, you're not a real Christian or blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I think just I think Jesus and God from Christianity, or, you know, like, not even just them, but other religions. I feel like whatever's going on, they would look at me and would be like, oh, like, you know, sometimes she's got the spirit, but sometimes, but the Dragon Lords, they judge, but I know they judge, and that's fine, because I judge them too a little. Can I be the Pope? No. So yeah, they're pretty chill. They haven't let me down. I am so serious when I say this as well. Every time I've been in like a dire moment or, you know, like I felt lost or anything, and like I would take the time and I would close my eyes and I would, you know, send out a either silent or spoken like prayer to them. They've always come through for me. They've always come through. So, you know, that could just be manifestation and the magic of that, but I don't call out to them very often. I don't ask for things hardly ever, but when I do, they usually come through, and I'm very grateful for that. Which one would I be sacrificed to? Asking for a friend. They don't have to take sacrifices. But, you know, like, you can, they don't have a rule book for, you know, how to appease them either. So you could like trial and error it. And now we've thank you all so much for being such good listeners. We've made it into the FAQ facts and questions. I realize this isn't an FAQ. This is a Q&A. The questions and answers portion of the stream. Okay, and I like Goliath using the hand emoji to raise his hand. So, can I borrow some of this for D&D lore? Sure, that's fine. You know, whatever capacity that you want to bring the Dragon Lords into your life is fine with me, as long as you're not like stealing my ideas and making money off of them. Man, I don't care. Okay, Goliath. Can the Dragon Lords take human forms? I've really thought about it. And I think no. But maybe. I think because they are extremely powerful, I think they can, but I think they're so prideful of who they are and like their form as a dragon that they don't like really like to. Like they pretty much never do, because they're like, what's the point? Being a dragon is so much better. I'm going to get really nerdy for a second. Do they have a breath weapon, and are they all different? Not all of them have a breath. Like, Artie for sure has fire. But not all of them have a breath weapon, only because they are so powerful magic-wise that it's not really needed for all of them. But Artie for sure just has classic line of fire. What's your favorite, kitties or dragons? If dragons, like, if I could, like, hold dragons and have a dragon, it's dragons. And I've always said dragons is my favorite animal. But, you know, cats are just as good. I love cats. Can you go into the ontological proof of the Dragon Lords? Okay, Canton, I am so glad you actually asked that. Because do I think the Dragon Lords exist in this world? And, ooh, let me segue that into the existence of Dragon Lords, too. Do I think they actually exist in this world, how I've thought of them in my stories? No. Okay. I would love them to exist, and I would love for them to do their thing. I don't actually think they exist, but I do think something exists in this world. What is that called? Not an atheist. It's a, it's not an atheist, but it's when you think there's something greater out there. Agnostic. Thank you, Hayden. So I was like, you know what? Why not just think that they're dragons? Fuck it. You know what? Just fuck it. So, Dragnostic. Oh my god, I love that! Dragnostic! Yeah! Yeah, so, yeah. I hope that answered your question. Okay. Sorry, I have to scroll up in chat. Just a home game, lol? Yeah, you're totally cool. Is this a cult? No. But, if you guys want to make it a cult, that's fine. If you want to join the Dragon Lord cult, you can start by gifting, subs. If you would like to get on the Dragon Lord's good side, you can gift as many subs as your bank account will allow. That's a joke. Let the Dragon Lords come inside you. I mean, I'm usually against that, but maybe for Airbusa, I'd be cool with it. Have you written a book, or will you write a book? I have tried writing a book so many times, essay, and I would love to write a book. The thing about me is I'm a giant pussy, and I need a lot of, like, motivation and, like, encouragement. Can you? Okay. To, like, keep on, you know, like, keep at it. So the goal, my dream career would be to become a famous author and be able to share my stories with so many people that would, like, read and enjoy them, and I can, like, geek out about my stories with, too. I've never had the commitment to successfully finish a whole book, so. Have you played the Seven Dragons 2011 card game? No, I haven't. What is that? Have you written any of these stories down, or is it just in your head? They're all pretty much just in my head. Will they ever rise up and save humanity for ourselves? So the Dragon Lords, funny you asked that. In my story, in the lore, the Earth is kind of like, it's Earth as we know it. And then basically, to put it simply, God and Satan, they're not God and Satan, but that's, like, the closest. Like, they're very much based off of those two, but changed. But essentially, they get into a fight. Satan, called Satyr in my story, created all of Earth, but God, called Trojan in my story, created humankind. And so humankind was created in order to kind of like ruin the Earth and take back the Earth from Satyr. And so Satyr creates the Dragon Lords in secret. And essentially, when the Dragon Lords are strong and powerful enough, they just like they wipe out most of humanity and take back Earth for Satyr to kind of let it do its thing. And then the Earth kind of transforms from there into like more of like a fantasy Earth after a few thousand years. So will they ever rise up and save humanity from ourselves? I'm not sure you want them to, but maybe they could. Is there a head of faith, like a dragon pope? That would probably be me. I don't really consider myself, you know, like having that title, but that would probably be me if there was one. How are the anal fissures doing? They're doing pretty good, Mike. I got hemorrhoid cream, and we're pretty sure it was hemorrhoids. And my shits have been pain-free for a long time now, so I appreciate you checking in on that. Favorite Godzilla? I don't have a favorite one. I would smash all of them equally. Which dragon throws it back sexual style? Ooh, who's the freakiest dragon? Probably Yuma and Q's. Probably both of them. Is there a hierarchy of religious figures like Pope, Bishop, Priest? Not really, no. And I haven't like dove specifically into how the religion works. But at this point, there really isn't. It's just kind of like home, you know. I imagine there are people who would like very openly and outwardly worship certain dragons, and people would kind of look up to them, and you know, when it comes to that. But there like isn't like the Dragon Lords aren't trying to impose themselves on the Earth. It's just kind of a role they've taken as a result of, you know, the power they came into after kind of destroying humanity as we know it. Dragon mega church coming soon? Maybe. Not a cult, possibly a cult. The subtitle? Yeah. Vessie is the oldest. Is she the mother of all the others or just the protector, and where did they all come from? She is not the mother. None of them are technically related, because they do make babies with each other, so I didn't want to make it weird and have any of them actually be related. But Vessie, yeah, she's just the oldest by like a long shot, because obviously the oceans are probably the safest place that you could grow a massive creature without it ever being discovered, and help the others grow. And I'm still thinking of exact origins yet. I'm still thinking exactly how Satyr worked that. But essentially, really extreme mutations of other animals, being born, and then through Satyr's magic, and yeah, all that jazz. Stop being a pussy and write a damn book. I know, I just need to. You need to be bullied into writing? I do. I would read this story. Oh, so cute. Is Mark Zuckerberg a dragon? No. WeChat will bully you into writing. You can do it. Maybe I could do that. Maybe. We can see. Maybe I can think of a way that you guys could help encourage me. I've been wanting to write Sirex's story too into a story. I've been you know, I think that would be fun. I would read it as long as it wasn't smut. Oh, I can't write smut. I love consuming smut. I can't write smut. I get too weird about it. You should just write a small short story. See, Bleep Blob, I fear that my ideas are too grand and rambly at this point into doing that. But maybe. Is your mom doing better? She is doing better, thank you. Yeah, she got home last night. And she's feeling better. Can we have a Dragon Lord Discord channel where you lore dump on us? Ooh, maybe. Can you train a dragon by using a shock collar? No, they would probably try killing you. Are there non-dragon Lord dragons? Yes. there's a after the creation of Dragon Lords, there is a many different dragons were born thereafter and exist in this world. So yes, there are non-Dragon Lord dragons. Why would you worship beings whose goal is to exterminate humanity, and why are they just chilling instead of doing their job? So kind of after, doing their main goal, Satyr made the mistake of making them too much, like him and giving them, like, actual, like, emotion, because they have, like, a human's intellect. Well, probably smarter. But, they kind of felt bad. A lot of them felt bad, and then, Yuma really enjoyed being worshipped and being, looked to and kind of, kind of like seen as like that power. Vessi just felt bad. Arabusa really didn't like a lot of it from the start. Especially with her realm of dealing with death, she was not a big fan. So, basically just too smart for their own good. Satyr kind of fucked up there. But it would probably, I say Satyr fucked up, quote unquote, but it was probably just like a subconscious thought into creating these that he didn't actually want to wipe out all of humans. For other reasons that I won't get into because I'll ramble too long. Oh shit, I used to have those dragon books. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I have one. I need to reread it because they're really good. Can you make a self-insert GTA RP character that goes around Jehovah Witness for these dragons in RP? I might. Maybe I can add that as a character sub-goal for the subathon in 3 weeks. Have you seen the movie Reign of Fire? I don't think so. Which restart do we get dragons added to Chase RP? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, thank you. Any explicable historical events we can attribute them to? Not that we've encountered. Essentially, like this, like from this current day, if my story was real, the Dragon Lords would take over the world in like the next like 200-ish years. I'm late and my internet is lame. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, Kakakshi. But there's a VOD, so you'll be able to watch the VOD to catch up on all the Dragon Lord lore. 500 subs per chapter released in Discord. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money. I don't think I would quite need 500 subs per chapter. Would you be a personal companion to a dragon, or would you have a dragon personal companion? I would like to say I'd probably be more of the companion. I think that's how it would work. I don't know. Syrexa AI Overlord Cult when? Syrexa Scratch and Sniff book. It's just pee and poo and... Okay, Saber. Okay. How many holidays do we get? You can have as many holidays as you want because the Dragon Lords, they don't believe in working for an entity. So you can take as many holidays as you want. Are there lesser like drakes and wyverns? I think you came in late, but there are a Dragon Lord that is a drake and a Dragon Lord that is a wyvern, and you would really piss them off if you called them lesser dragons to their face. So I just watch out for that. Syrexa book should come with meth rat stickers. That is so funny. Can the Syrexa book be scratch and sniff? No. Which is silver and which is gold of Tichi and Fuko? You'll never know. You'll never know. They don't want you to know. They want to keep their secrets. Syrexa reads Dragon Smut today. I feel it. No, I don't really participate in dragon porn. I want to know what getting branded smells like. Oh my god, I forgot that happened. Holy shit. I am Erexa, your personal ERP companion. I am here to fulfill your wants and needs and desires. Have you gotten the Dragon Lord feedback on how it feels about Skyrim and killing dragons? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But I haven't played Skyrim because it always gives me a bad taste that I have to kill that first dragon in the first mission. What up, Stinky? I took a shower today, so I'm not stinky. Pussy. Get wrecked. Dragon Lord pet battles would go hard, Jesus. Why? Which dragons slays people that go on hot dog runs and don't return? God. Probably Artie. He'd probably be pissed off. He'd probably be the most pissed off for that. 3,000 sub goal, write a serious part of a book about the Dragon Lords. If I don't know if y'all would actually pay for that, but if I would do that. Thank you so much for the tier 1 bot. I love Dragon D's nuts. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Have you read the Inheritance Cycle? Yes. You mean the Aragon books? I have read them. I need to reread them. They're very good. And they definitely were a lot of inspiration for my stories as I grew up. Would they let us ride them non-sexually? Some dragons would. It depends. Is this that scientific dragon MMO thing I heard about years ago? I don't think so. And this is my religion that I follow. Can we have a written description of them sometime? I'm not an artist, but I want to make art. Okay, I can do that. Maybe I can add a special little Discord section for the Dragon Lords. I gotta go lurk mode. Gonna go play Helldivers 2. Have fun! Okay, I think I'm mostly caught up. Okay. Alright, yeah, that's... Thank you so much for all your questions, by the way. That's the Dragon Lords. Happy National Dragon Appreciation Day. I am so glad you all actually enjoyed listening to me ramble about this. So now, let's we can get into